Hi guys, it's me Karen, and I'm going to do a color on this beautiful piece that I have in front of me. I tried the other day to do a grayscale coloring. And I'll show you what it looks like. So this is this one, and I usually do a lot of work with distress inks, but because I printed this on my printer, which is a jet ink printer, if I don't let it dry for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, the distress ink will actually blur all the lines. And if you notice, the lines are, printed on the printer, so they're not like they are when they're in a coloring book. They're a little bit blurrier on my printed thing. So I actually have to go over some of these lines with either the black pencil or a marker just to get them to stand out brighter. But I'm going to go ahead and try. I've had this sitting on my desk for a couple of days, and I'm going to add a little yellow to the dragon down here, and I'm going to actually see if the distress ink will actually work on it without blurring it this time. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip it into the yellow, and this is squeezed lemonade, and add it in here. I'm going to dab instead of rub, just because it has to get into the grays. And I'm dabbing very lightly, and I'm just going where he is going to have some highlights, because he's going to be a green dragon, but he's going to get some yellow in him. This is my first attempt to do a second attempt to do a grayscale, but the first time I'm going to be putting the distress ink on it. The other one was all pencil. It seems to be working pretty good, as long as I don't rub it too much. He's got another wing over here. Wing his nose a little better. Now I have watched a couple of videos on doing grayscale coloring, and I found a couple of hints that I tried on the other paper, because I'm using Prismacolor coloring kind of wax, and it kind of leaves little dots in the gray areas. And I was told that if you use a Vaseline product, petroleum jelly, and dip your pencil into this, it'll actually make it creamier and blend better. So I will be using that hint also. Now, since I got it on the dragon, I'm going to stick a little bit up here on the wings of the fairy too. That seemed to work pretty well. Okay, maybe a little here in her outfit just to save me some shading there. Okay, so that is that part. She's on kind of some stone steps, so I'm going to try to add in a little brown into the stone area, and that I am going to use my favorite color that I can't find. Here we are, Gathered Twigs. I really like this as a brown. It doesn't have much red in it, and it works really well. So we're going to add some in here, kind of like where it's the darkest. Look it down a little lower and you can see this a little better, where adding it. And I'm just using the tip and kind of dabbing it over. In my last video, I had a comment from a nice person who actually told me that Ranger, which is the company that makes all this stuff, has made a little tiny blending tool that you can get into the tiny little corners and stuff with. So I'll have to check that out. It's like a long tube with a little foam piece on each end, and you can use it. I have not seen them, but like I said, when I started doing this, I just use what I have sitting on my desk. I didn't go out and buy any of this stuff. I mean, I bought it originally, but I mean, I bought it like 5-6 years ago, and yeah, they all still work. Lasts a long time. I do have re-inkers for some of these inks. The picture here is from, and if you can read it here, Molly Harrison. I'll leave a link down below. She does coloring books. This is just a digital one that I bought off her site. And she has this particular picture in one of her color books. I believe it's actually on the cover. And I thought it was really pretty, so I thought, well, I'll buy the digital because I've done digital papers before. And if I didn't like coloring on the grayscale, then I would only have a couple pictures and not a whole book sitting on my desk. Alright, so we've got a little brown going on down here. I might add a little blue in here, and now I'm going to color him green. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing in the background at all. Like I said, I just started coloring this, so we will see now what colors I'm going to start with on the dragon. Okay, so I have picked out these tones, so some bright greens, and then some blues, and then the indigo. So I will go through the numbers here. This is 903, and it is true blue. And this one is a chartreuse, and it's 989. This one is neon green, and it's a Scholar pencil, because I don't have neons in my Prisma colors. It's 439. Indigo blue, 901, and then yellow chartreuse in 1004. So those are the colors I'm going to use on the dragon, and we will start here at the yellow portion first. And we will add in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this portion here down at the bottom and show you what it is, just straight up pencil on this, and then we'll use the Vaseline on the next section, and you can see what it looks like there. So I'm just going to color it in. And bring a little in over on this side. Okay, and then I'll bring it up for you to see. I don't know if you can see how it leaves some of that gray showing through. You're not going to see too much of the white because I went over it with ink, which is a nice thing too. So now what I'll do is I'll dip it in the Vaseline. Just the tip. What I did on my last one is I got it on there, and then I just kind of mushed it on my thumb so that the ink or the Vaseline is on there and I can use it again. I'm going to have to get a little closer here to see this. I don't know if I can move you guys down here a little bit more. Okay. So it goes on a little smoother. Looks a little gooey, but does real nice in the gray areas. Okay, and then I'll let you see if you can tell any difference. So, this area here was done with the Vaseline, and this one was done with the just plain a pencil. It looks like it blends a little easier here. It's a lot smoother to work with, but I don't know if it's... Oh, and I'll show you the back of the page too. So the Vaseline does not come through, if you were wondering if you were doing something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get a different color and see if I can blend this in. A little darker here. I'll dip it in the Vaseline just to see, because I'm working in the Vaseline area. And that's that, and I want to get it even darker, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little of the indigo blue in there. Yeah, we'll get some of that off. I'll blend it down in here too. Okay, I'll go back in with the yellow here. Okay, well, that's how that looks. And I'll just keep doing up the little guy's neck here. And then we'll get the next color. What I like about the grayscale is you have all your shadows already in there. All you have to do is draw on them. There's a few things I don't like about it is because you'll put down your pencil and like down here in this area, you're not seeing it come up I would assume that markers would work really well on these. I don't have markers. I had bought some markers at one point because everybody was coloring with Copics, and I thought, well, I'll give those a try. And I found out that there are just some things I don't care for. I could not wrap my head, I guess, around how the Copic markers, the alcohol inks, work. I don't, I mean, people make things gorgeous with them. I'm just not one of those people. I'll just put it that way. So I gravitated towards the colored pencils, which I love using. And of course the distress inks. I love using those also. So those are my mediums that I'll use. All right, so another neat thing about actually putting this on your phone, other than you're getting nice little colors all over it, moisturizes your fingers. Anyway, so I'm just actually laying this down to highlight. I do like using the Vaseline. It really puts it down a nice coat. Great tip. If I can remember what video I watched of the person that told me this, I will put a link down below to that channel, because that's a good little tip for this. I printed this out on 110 cardstock, so it will be able to use any kind of medium on it. I'll get some highlights there, and probably in here somewhere. There we go. And then we'll get some blue in there. Indigo blue. Favorite color. Tell my pencil is really getting small. I started doing some pictures from another book. I haven't quite finished my Phantomorphia book that I wanted to finish. I am stuck on 2 pictures, or 3 pictures. One of the pictures happens to be the backside of the wolf I did, and it's the jeweled bugs. I don't do jewels very well. Probably have to find a tutorial on that. But also when I did the wolf, I painted the background, and I used a piece of paper to keep it from bleeding through. And of course my problem with that was I got paint on that paper and it kind of smeared on the little bugs. So I don't know. I'd have to make probably a background that would cover that up. Then I have the skull page to do, and a crown of roses. It's a lot of flowers. And a little of this up here in his ears, or fins. I'm going to call them ears. I heard a story my daughter was telling me about dragons. And you notice this dragon does not have a pupil in its eye. And I was talking about another picture that I saw, and I said, oh, look at the little dragons are sleeping. And she said that actually dragons are made, or drawn and stuff without eyes. And if you put the eye, draw it in to the dragon, you awake the dragon, awaken it. So I thought that was an interesting story. I'm just going to add some dark up here, some color in it. And do a tail. This last weekend, we went to one of the little fairs that my town has. It was called Petapalooza. Cool name. What it is held at the park, one of the big parks around here. And it celebrates all critters with 4 legs or 2 legs. So it's for pets. Dogs, you bring your dog with you. They had dog races, pig races, a petting zoo, which was kind of fun. And they had, in the petting zoo, they had some wallabies, a mirror, a bunch of chickens, which are really cute. And then they had frisbee throwing contest for dogs that chase frisbees. And if you've seen the ones where they have the owner throw the frisbee over their back and the dog jumps over and catches it and how many frisbees a dog can actually carry. That was fun too. And then they had a live band that we watched for a while. They're a good band. I'm gonna probably go see them again. Up in Kirkland we go to a winery up there. And you sit on the grass and you listen to the bands. So I'm gonna put a little green in his tail to brighten that up a little bit. And darken that space. A little bit more blue up here. I might use some ink in there. Gotta get that leg a little different color. Might add some brown in there too. He's looking kind of bright. Okay, pressure that I'm using on this pencil, it's a little harder than I normally do, just because you have to get the color to show through the grayscaling. So he's looking kind of cute on my end. He looks very bright on the phone, but I think I'm going to find another color, green, and kind of mull him down a little bit. I think I have to sharpen this one. Okay, this is kelp green, 1090. And we're going to see how that works in here. Just give it a darker. More muted color on there. kind of cool. You in the shading here, you can almost see the blood veins in his wings. The artist is really good on this. Okay, we'll do this one. Okay. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to do the ball too, and I think he needs a little blue ball. Leave it shine, and I'm going to leave one down here. I'm going to add yellow or green, something in there to lighten that one up. A little bit up here. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of white in that also. So we will get it to look a little bit more like a glass ball, hopefully. There we go. And if there's any place I want to highlight him at all, I could do that too. A little whiteness down here. And then I'll do his bones a little later and his teeth. Get the toothies. Here. Okay, just got another one here, little horns. I'll add brown to those a little later. Okay, now what I'm going to do is add a little more inking down here. I can put a little green down under him. The green I'm using is called peeled paint. And I'm just going to add it in here. And I might add a little in his wings also. Down on the bottoms. And then anywhere else, I think he needs a little bit darker area. So he's not so bright. Up here on the wall. There we go. Hope that isn't coming out as bright as I see it through the camera lens. It's not that bright, honest. Give him a little more greenery around here. There. Okay. I might even throw a little brown in on him. Thinking about it, I have to double think because I might change the color to a really dark brown. Okay, this is a walnut stain is what it's called, and it's pretty dark. I'm going to add it in. The wall and the floor. So maybe a little in here on his wings. A little curve going up his neck. There we go. And that will be my dragon. Okay. Now we will work on I don't mind this little spillage of ink out here. I will be doing some kind of background back there. I just don't know what kind yet. Her outfit is going to be more in the purplish or reddish. I know that doesn't make sense. Mulberry is a pretty color, and that's $9.95. I'm gonna touch her wings with it up here. Just in the shadow parts. Maybe even to a pink, I don't know. It's a really pretty purple, or I don't even know if it's purple. What does it come off as? Kind of a purple color. Goes nice with the greens. I hope I don't miss any of these. This is just straight pencil, no Vaseline on it at all, and very light touch. That's kind of pretty. Then we'll do her skirt the same. And her top. Darkening up everything up here. And this wing is behind that one, so we gotta do it a little lighter. Do this one a little darker. Kind of going for a transparent spot there. I'm thinking this is her little foot because she's kneeling down, so I'll give her a shoe. Her skin color is going to be a little off down there. I'm going to leave the yellows in there. I think that's nice. Let me add some little spots. She has a ball. I don't know if I want to make it the same color. And I have to do her skin. This is going to be interesting because it doesn't really work very well. So we're going to start off with a light peach, and that's 927. And I'm just going to do a coating of the pink, or the peach, sorry. And yeah, her hand's a little green too, but that's okay. So we will try the next color. Got my colors on the other side of my desk, sorry. for just a plain peach. So I'm going to give her some peachy tone. Darken her skin up in some spots. Kind of give her a highlight there. I'm just kind of blending it into the light peach that's there. Okay. I'm going to use a little clay rose for her cheeks area up here. Her ears. Where the wings are on her back, and just kind of bring some of that down. And that'll help with the green that I have got all over her. Okay, and then we're going to go back in with the lightest peach and kind of blend that around a bit. Pressing darker with this so it will blend it through. Need to get this arm a little darker here. Okay, then we're going to get a blush pink. Number is 928, and I'm going to add just a little bit her cheek area and a little bit around her lip area, and then kind of blend that in. A little on her arms. And there she is. Get that blended just a little bit better here in the cheek. Okay. Her skirt needs a little more work on it. And her bow. I think I'll do it the same color I did his. The dragon. So I'll color it in the indigo blue. Leaving some shining spots. And then get some of the yellow. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera. In here. A little down here. Get her bow going here. A little white in there too. And double check his, get his a little brighter down here. All right. Well, let's see how I'm going to do the rest. I have to pause it here, and then I will get back to part 2 where I do the background and finish her up a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in a bit.